Here with my friend Erin. We've been really good going live every week.
Yeah, I like it.
We're very consistent. So today we are going to compare renting versus buying over a 10-year period. Look at the numbers, and we're going to do it two different ways, one with a little bit of a higher rent and one with a little bit of a lower rent, to look at those differences. And we've got some real life examples of a real house, real rental, and we're gonna look at the numbers. Oh, let's see. Let's make sure we can see. Oh. Okay, so we are live on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and if any of you guys have a question, just put it in the comments and we will see it. So come with your questions. Other than that, you want to say anything else before we get started?
Well, my name's Erin with Movement Mortgage, and to Amber's point, if there's any questions, just throw them in the chat. If you like what you see and you want an example made just for you, we can do that for you as well.
Yeah, hi Milad. Thanks so much for joining in from LinkedIn. So let's pull up. I'm just gonna. No? Here? Yeah, okay. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to look at some real places. Okay. Can I just do... Which one are we going to do first?
I'm trying to share this to show the house.
Okay, we'll start with the house. I was kind of hoping I could just share my whole desktop.
Oh.
Yeah, so we're starting with a $500,000 house. We just wanted to use that for a good number. It's a good number for the Boston area. You can still get a single family for $500,000 or under. It's kind of a sweet spot for being able to choose a price point for around here, even though obviously there's a huge range. But so we've got this single family that we pulled up in Quincy. Erin lives in Quincy. Oh wait, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
$499, and this is a horrible picture. You guys, why do people not know how to take a picture? Let's look at picture number one versus picture number two. Ready? 1, 2. But I did like this place a lot, even though they didn't do a good job of marketing it. But it's got really brand new, nice appliances, nice open space, open floor plan. Looks pretty well maintained and new. Nice shiny floors. Spacious bedrooms. It's a 2-bedroom. Let me double check. I can't remember. 1.5 bath. 2.5 bath. Yeah, that's what I thought. But also so this is one thing I do have to say. This is turf, so that's a little bit of a downside. You might want some real grass, or maybe you don't want the maintenance. But it does have a white picket fence. Your very own. Oh, and then you have this nice big garden. Oh, wait, should I make this bigger? A central AC. Okay, that's it. They did not show the front of the house, but I found it. Where did I find it? Here. Here is the front of the house, and so it is an attached single, but you have a front yard, you got a backyard, you got a basement. Let's actually read a little bit about what they say, because this is a really cool house. They're saying, why would you pay for a condo when you can have a single family? 2 bedrooms, white picket fence, open floor plan, move-in ready, generously sized bedrooms and closet. Let's ignore that they meant to say potential and made up a word.
Near the beach?
Oh, yeah. Steps away from the beach, which if it were me, I would have loved to take a picture of that beach and put it up here. But listen to this. This is the part I wanted to. New deck in 2017, new kitchen appliances, 2017, kitchen upgrade 2020, new interior doors 2020, central AC 2019, new roof 2018, new hot water heater 2021, turf 2018, and new flooring on the second floor, bedroom, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I thought they said something about the basement.
Finished.
Where is it? Oh, yeah. Potential. I got distracted. Potential to finish the basement. And so there's a semi-finished basement that is not included in the square footage here. So lots of upgrade potential. So here's the house that we chose. 500,000, just under, in Quincy. And then for comparison, I wanted to show two different possibilities. One is we looked up how much does it cost to rent an apartment in Quincy. So we came up with a number of 2,400, 2,500. I mean, there's a big range. So this one, 2,700 for this 2-bedroom. And then the other, wait, let's go back to stop sharing, right? Is there anything? Just stop sharing for a second. Okay. So, hey, Jace. Thanks so much for tuning in. So, two comparisons I wanted to make. And one is you can look at how much would it cost to rent in Quincy versus buy in Quincy. But what I wanted to really show as a Cambridge agent was that for the same price of renting in Cambridge, that you could own something not that far away. We did also pull up all the single families within 10 miles. There were 6 of them, 10 miles of Cambridge. And so if you are at a point where you might be willing to invest in your future and not necessarily live in the exact town that you're in, move less than 10 miles away, and we are about to show you the benefits of buying versus renting.
Yes.
So let's go.
So let's share the screen.
Okay, we are going to do this one. Oops. Okay.
All right, so Amber's going to be my typer navigator on her laptop, and we will talk about all the fields.
Okay, so we're looking at the exact same house. Purchase price $499.
Okay, let's start in our renting box.
Okay.
And here we're going to see, so that this software is calculating average rent in the county at that range of $2,900, but we can put that down if you want. We were looking at maybe 25.
Yeah, let's do 2,500. So this is comparing renting in Quincy versus buying in Quincy.
Okay, so we have renter's insurance, and then we are calculating an annual rent increase of 3.125%. Okay.
I wonder how accurate that is. We didn't have time to look that one up. We
Well,
looked at
the national average rent is 8%, so it's kind of low comparison.
Yeah.
And then in the areas you're talking about renting, I'm sure it's higher than that.
Yeah. Should we just say 6, the same as?
Sure.
Yeah. So this is a guesstimate, but we think that the national average is 8%. We think that 3% sounds kind of low. And also based on, I'm choosing the number 6 based on the sale comparison that we did. So we're not just making up that number completely. So we're going to change that 6% increase in rent over the years, which we all know is true. Every year you're renting, your rent is going up $50, $100. Maybe you get a couple of years off, but then it goes up to $100. So rental increases is very real, especially in the Boston area, for sure. Okay.
Down here we want to lower our taxes. That house has lower taxes. 40.
Oh, yeah. So we looked up, actually, I'll show you guys. Right here. 4421. That's the actual number of taxes for this house. Insurance.
We can lower that a little bit. Oh, sorry.
25. And then,
So here under repairs, we're just using an estimate of about $200 a month. This could be an HOA fee if you had a condo, but in this example, we're being pretty transparent here, and houses do have repairs. So this is what we're using. If you think you have higher repairs and you want one of these examples, we can edit that for you specifically. All right, so
if you were buying something newer, for example, this $200 a month set aside for repairs might be a lot, might be too much. So it's an estimate. Basically, we could almost just take that out if we were really just comparing month to month, but we'll leave it.
You can take it out. It factors into some of the other numbers that we're going to go into, but it can be certainly removed.
Should we? No, we'll leave it for now.
Okay. And then we can run with it at the end, and you can see the difference.
Okay.
All right.
So where should we go now? Loan?
Yeah. So everything we're basing off of 10% down, and this does include mortgage insurance. Our closing costs are going to be a little bit less at that purchase price if you want to drop those down just to
7,000?
Yes, please.
Okay, so we're estimating closing costs at 7,000 instead of almost 10.
Yeah. And then home ownership here. So we have our years before selling.
Oh yeah, we were gonna. How did it come up with 9? Is that the average? I thought it was more like 7.
This is just the way the software is designed. So,
okay, so the software is guessing that you will sell within 9 years. We're gonna just put 10 just to make that a more even number.
The appreciation rates. So we're going off of let's do the forecast average. It's a little lower, so
here's another thing that before we get into the numbers, just want to point out one thing, that these numbers that we're going to show you are very conservative in estimating fairly high cost of owning a home in terms of repairs that could come down, which would increase your profit. And then also, this is using the appreciation, basically meaning how much will your home increase in value over the years at under 5%. Whereas I want to show you that we did look it up, and here, you see here it's 6.6% over the last 5 years. So the median home price in Quincy has gone up to 6.6 in the last 5 years. So
our numbers are then the actual numbers will be better.
Yeah. So basically what we're going to show you is a big advantage for buying versus renting, but the real numbers will be even better.
Yeah. If you want to scroll to the top here, scroll up a little bit. So here you can see that we're comparing a payment. Our total housing payment is $3,778 versus our rent of $2,544. You can see our rent increases pretty significantly up to year 10. Now, here are some numbers. We're going to scroll down a little bit to get our magic number that's going to pop up.
So year 1, your rent is $2,500, but year 10, your rent has gone up to over $4,200. Versus when you own, one of the advantages is your mortgage never changes for 30 years. If it does change, likely it's going to go down because you refinanced. But that's one thing for myself as a mom and living in Cambridge, where I wanted my kids to go to, to not have to change school districts or whatever. Being able to own something and know that my price is not going to change for 30 years was huge. Okay, so
now let's show our results.
Show results.
So our total net gain is going to be just over $250. How did we get there? We factor in right above here We have appreciation gain, and what that is, that's just how much your house appreciates in value or goes up in value from the day you buy it until the time you sell it.
Mhm.
So in this example, we're looking at 10 years of appreciation, so just over 284. Amortization gain is basically what your mortgage decreases in that time frame from paying your principal and interest each month. Because when we look at our principal and interest of 2913, a portion of that is being paid basically right back to us in terms of reducing that. So we have about 66,000 in amortization gain. The cash flow differences, that's the differences between what you're paying and rent, but it has a certain amount of it gets offset quite a bit as you scroll down here.
Mm-hmm. So let's just recap a little bit, just in case you missed anything, because I know it's a lot of numbers. This red one here is showing that over the 10 years, you will pay $56,000 more in mortgage payments than in rent. So you are at a little bit of a loss in terms of monthly costs.
In comparison, yeah.
But so that we're just that's just based on what you put in. You're putting in a little bit more. You're putting in 50,000 more over 10 years. But then when you go to sell or just look at the value, that's when you see the huge difference. So one is in 10 years, your home has increased in value by almost 300,000. That is a conservative number. I think that if we were to look at the actual numbers, it would be even more. And then the 66,000 is basically if you were to sell, that's how much you paid toward your own mortgage that you are now getting back. And that's also another huge difference between renting versus buying, because obviously when you pay rent, you're never getting any of that back. Whereas when you pay your mortgage, even if only a little bit is going towards the principal in the beginning, most is going towards interest. But whatever that is that's going towards the principal, when you sell, you are getting that back. So here is the overall. This is
so this is over a 10-year time frame, and the numbers to get to this 250. We're calculating our closing costs, the difference in the rent, because we're going to show you that, right? To have it apples to apples, and then the realtor cost to sell. Okay, so we have how much we gain in just appreciation, amortization, and then tax benefit, which we'll talk about in a minute. But you can see here, just based off of these numbers, we're just over 250,000. Can you pull this down one sec, just right here? And what I want to show you folks is when we have a little bit more home ownership, what we can adjust how you file your taxes, whether you file your taxes single, individually, married, filing jointly, or single. These numbers adjust because we are calculating and including a tax benefit. So when we file this down to a single person household, we're now at 280. So quite a bit of difference there. So there's all these little factors that we can kind of play with, but you can certainly see here that based off of these trends and increasing values, that even with the higher interest rates, you're still significantly better in the long run, especially as these rental costs increase.
This is a very good point. So people keep asking, how's the market? People are worried the market is not strong right now. Interest rates are higher than they were last year, obviously. But what this is showing is even at an almost 7% interest rate, that you're still getting this huge, almost $300,000 benefit over the course of the 10 years. And
then if you wanted to look at it, Amber, like it's 6 years per se, click on there, just click there. It's right. You're going down to 92.
Yeah, so even if you were to so basically what this chart here is showing is if you were planning on selling within 2 years, it wouldn't be worth buying because you would lose money. You're paying for the closing costs, you're paying more in interest at the beginning of the loan than at the end. There are a lot of reasons why it takes a few years before you start to actually see, plus the home increasing in value and all those factors. And then we did want to, I wanted to show you guys a little bit about why there is a tax benefit. We're not CPAs, so we wanted to be careful about how we talk about it. So I just asked ChatGPT and came up with the top 5 reasons why the benefits of owning versus renting. And so you can see here, you can deduct your the mortgage interest that you pay. You can deduct the property tax that you pay from. There's all deducted from what you have to pay taxes on. You can, if you sell, you can deduct $250,000 from those capital gains in terms of what you have to pay taxes on as an individual, $500,000 as a married couple. And then they said home office deduction. Now you can get that deduction renting as well, but so I'm not sure exactly why they included that in there. But and maybe you're more likely to have a home office if you own. You can also deduct, when you have a home office, you can deduct a portion of all your utilities, and then increased standard deduction. So you have more overall higher itemization that you can deduct, so you're paying more savings overall. So as you can see, we don't know what we're talking about a little bit, but we're not accountants. Okay. Anything? What else do you want to jump back to here again? Oh yeah. So is that all you wanted to say about it?
Unless there's any questions on this.
Oh yeah, let's see if we have
And
any
if you wanted to adjust, do you want to adjust the rent so you could see what it looked like differently?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
Yeah.
do next. So this one, we're comparing the Quincy versus Quincy. But what I also wanted to show was a higher rent to show what it would look like if you rented a 2-bedroom in Cambridge versus moving 6 miles away and owning something for the same price. So when we go up to rent, so I'm gonna change. Are we still sharing the screen? Yes, right? Yes, okay. So I'm going to change the rent from $2,500 to $3,000 for a 2-bedroom rent in Cambridge. But I'm going to keep the price of the house the same because I'm going to show that you could move to Quincy, or you could move to Saugus or Dedham or some of these other places where we found actual homes available right now for under $500,000. And now let's look at these numbers again.
Yes. All right. So it's not going to be too much of a change. We will see that our cash flow difference has come down quite a bit in there, because we're going to start to break even in years 5 and 6. So a lot longer than, shorter rather than the other example.
So this is just to I never know how much people understand when we're looking and talking about this, but basically this just shows the rent going up over every year and the mortgage staying the same. So you start off where your mortgage is higher than your rent, but over time your rent goes up, and that's what this is showing.
Yep, exactly. Thank you. So let's see what it does. Just push that.
Wait, why did this not go
I'm like,
up?
what changed?
Hey. What happened? Something happened.
Since I changed them here.
Well, this is fine. That's right.
Mm-hmm. Oh wait, I think we were looking at the wrong number.
Oh, because we were on year 6 still. There,
Yeah,
that looks
there
better.
I was like, it's a simple
But
click.
I did need to change
Adjust
that.
that,
Yeah. Okay. So in 10 years of owning something versus renting, you would stand to profit almost $400,000. And like we said, this number is way low because your the value of the homes around here are increasing more than 4% or 4.5% a year. So And Quincy, it was six, average of
6, I think.
6.6. I'd like to look at some other towns, but that's okay. Anything else we want to? Oh, wait, how did that change?
Well, because our rent is so much more, so we actually,
so
when the purple comes up, that offsets the loss in the early, and you can see that it's not too much of a difference in the first couple of years.
Yeah. So Cambridge folks, in 10 years, your 2-bedroom apartment might be $5,000
I mean, very likely it could be.
Yeah.
The way rents keep increasing around here.
I don't want to say how old I am, but I will tell you guys that my rent in Cambridge for a 2-bedroom was $625.
So they go up. But yeah, if there's anyone has any questions on these or they want like a specific number for them, we can certainly do that.
So, hey Wallace, thanks for tuning in. He said that's sad. What did you mean with sad that the rents are going to be over $5,000 in Cambridge? But yeah, thanks for tuning in. And if you have any specific questions, let us know. Should I stop sharing now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So, you want to touch base on? So don't wait. You can still get some, make things happen. Keep in mind, the payment there is based off current rate. Average life of a mortgage is about 8 years. So likelihood of that payment decreasing to, that would change the gap there and some of those numbers for the rental part is pretty significantly. So keep that in the back of your mind.
Yeah. There's a bunch of other reasons why people love owning a home. You have more privacy, you have more autonomy. If you want to tear down your kitchen, you can. If you want to own a dog, you can. You don't have to ask permission. If you want to paint your walls, there's a lot of other reasons, but here today we're mostly just looking at the financial reasons. But yeah, it really I think that one of the most important points to make, like Erin just said, is to not wait, because we're looking at interest rates right now that, at least in this example, we're over 6.5%, like 6.75. And that might sound high to some people, especially if you were comparing it to what the numbers were a year or 2 years ago. But I have to say they were, unusually low.
Yeah.
My own interest rate is closer to what they are now. And so, don't wait for the interest rates to come down. Again, buying your home today is still going to be advantageous over renting and waiting. And the other thing that I just will quickly, not necessarily related to this, but in terms of waiting for interest rates to come down, keep in mind, when the interest rates were very low, under 3% or hovering around there was a gazillion buyers. So it was very hard to even get your offer accepted. So challenging as a buyer, but also the homes were going like 80,000 over asking, 100,000 over asking, 20 offers. And so when you compare that versus the prices now are more stable, things are going right around asking, you're getting maybe 3 or 4 offers instead of 70. So there are a lot of other reasons why waiting could be a bad idea, waiting for the interest rates to come down. It is actually a really great market to try to buy something right now if you're able to. It's true that you're not your mortgage, the amount that you can borrow might not be as high as what you could have borrowed, but I mean, it's basically the interest rate. Well, my first friend, my friend from high school, my first friend to buy a house, probably early 20s, he said his interest rate was 12%.
Yeah.
And he was telling me He was the first friend I had to buy a house, and he was like, "You gotta buy a house, you gotta buy a house." And he told me he started at 12%, then he refinanced, then he got it down, then he refinanced again, and he got it down. But he was saying, even though he had to, because his credit was bad or whatever at the time, even though he had to get that initial thing at 12%, he kept telling me it's worth it. Just do it. Just buy a house.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
The people I know that started buying houses in their 20s have some of the most impressive real estate portfolios, and have it's really worked out for them. I encourage you that if you're considering it, and even if you're not in your younger years and you can do it, to just do it and have the conversation. You might think you can't, and you may be pleasantly surprised that you can.
Mm-hmm.
So I encourage you to talk with somebody.
Yeah, so reach out to me and Erin. She can hook you up with all the information that you need. A year from now, 2 years from now, if you're thinking about buying, start now. She can help you fix your credit, tell you how much you have to save, which will most likely be a lot less than you think. You do not have to save 20%. You might even only have to save 3 or 5, or there's even loans with 0% down. So best thing to do is to start the conversation.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Well, this was fun. Thanks for joining us on our Friday coffee time. And let us know what topics you want us to cover.
Yeah.
And we'll be back again. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.